Have you ever wondered where the tradition of New Year's resolutions came from? The earliest recorded traditions of New Year's resolutions can be traced back thousands of years to the ancient Babylonians. They would ring in their new year by making promises to their gods, hoping to gain favor in the coming months. These promises, much like our resolutions, were often centered around paying off debts and returning borrowed objects, reflecting a desire to start the new year afresh. Fast forward a few centuries, and we find the Romans continuing this practice. They would begin each year by making promises to the god Janus, the two-faced deity who looked back into the past and forward into the future. This is the very god for whom the first month of the year, January, is named. This gives us a glimpse into how deeply ingrained the tradition of New Year's resolutions is in human culture. So, the tradition of New Year's resolutions has a history that's as old as civilization itself. But how did we get from ancient rituals to modern-day self-improvement goals? Well, let's fast forward from the Babylonians to the Middle Ages. During this time, the concept of nightly resolutions came into play. Knights would place their hands on a live or roasted peacock and make a pledge, or peacock vow, to reaffirm their commitment to chivalry. This was essentially a medieval version of a New Year's resolution. As we move into the modern era, however, the tradition of making resolutions has shifted focus. Instead of pledging to uphold the values of a knight, people began to make resolutions that centered around personal improvement. This shift likely coincided with the rise of individualism and the idea that we, as individuals, have the power to shape our own destinies. So, what are the common resolutions made today? Well, they're often tied to health and wellness. Think dieting, exercising more, or quitting smoking. Other popular resolutions include saving money, learning a new skill, or spending more time with loved ones. Interestingly, the tradition of making New Year's resolutions has also given rise to a whole industry of self-help books and motivational speakers, all promising to help us keep those resolutions. From knights to self-help books, it's clear that New Year's resolutions have come a long way. But why do we feel the need to make these resolutions at the start of every year? Well, it's all in our heads, really. The psychology behind New Year's resolutions is fascinating. The start of a new year symbolizes a fresh start, a clean slate, and psychologically, it provides a clear line in the sand for us to make changes. It's a milestone, a mark in time that we can use to separate the old from the new, the past from the future. But it's not just about time. Societal pressure also plays a significant role. We live in a world where self-improvement is highly valued. We're constantly bombarded with messages about becoming better versions of ourselves, and the start of a new year seems like the perfect time to join in. Of course, there's also the personal desire for self-improvement. We all have areas in our lives that we'd like to improve, and a New Year's resolution can serve as a commitment to ourselves that we're going to make those changes. But here's the thing. Despite the fact that research shows most people don't stick to their resolutions, we continue to make them year after year. Why? Hope. Hope for a better future, hope for change, hope for a fresh start. Despite the odds, the hope for a fresh start keeps the tradition of New Year's resolutions alive and well.